Hey there, hey there. This is Dr. Pam Perry. So every maybe other podcast of the Get Out There, Get Known podcast, I'll do a show called Therapy for PR Girls. Because typically I always talk about how to get out there, get known, how to use media, how to leverage press or how to get print or any of that kind of thing. And we're going to talk about that today. But we'll also go and you'll be like a fly on the wall with another PR colleague, Danielle Jeter. And we're going to be talking about things of the industry, going behind the curtain, so to speak, about what that all entails. And it's really, for me, it's like therapy, talking to another colleague about the whole industry and how it's changed over the years. So we're going to bring up Danielle P. Jeter right after this. I'm so excited.
Welcome to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast. Join Pam Perry, veteran PR strategist, Emmy award-winning producer and publisher of Speakers Magazine, who will show you how to crack the code in getting out there to get known. Each week, she either interviews her media friends, PR colleagues, or she just goes solo, offering you strategies on publicity, publishing, and platform building. So listen up to hear how to get booked on media places and on superstar stages. Now, here's your host, Pam Perry.
Hey there, hey there. Hey, Danielle. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, really starting out the gate, I will say that you are hailing from Atlanta still? You're still in Atlanta? Spelman grad?
No, I actually live in Miami, Florida now.
Oh my goodness, you have the nice weather while the rest of the world is in like a snow blizzard. You're in southern Florida. Okay, I won't be mad, but I am mad. Okay, I'm like freezing. I got a heater over here under my feet and everything. So give us a little background about how I know it's crazy. Give us a little background about how you ended up in PR. I know your background from Spelman and that sort of thing. And you've also been in dance and you did events and you have your nonprofit, Women in Media, Women in Global Media.
Yep.
Women in
Media.
So,
Global.
Yeah.
You got it right.
So give us a little bit of the backstory about how you ended up there and you know, because there's a whole lot of careers that people can go into, and PR is one of those fields where it's like kind of tough. It's not real easy, but tell us how you ended up in there.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's so great to see you again, Dr. Pam. Thank you so much for having me today. My name is Danielle Jeter, and I am a two-time founder. I have an agency called AOI Events and Public Relations, and also Women in Media Global. And I got into PR through my love and passion for theater arts and dance. So if you met me prior to post-grad, as a college alum, you know me as a dancer. I danced my whole life. So since elementary school through college, I danced, and I also majored in theater arts and dance at Spelman College. So I was literally dancing all over the place. And so it was through my
kind of like a little mini Misty Copeland kind of thing.
Yes, it was really my first love, and it was through that really allowed me to find a different career path and something else that I could do. And so, as an artist, we not only create art and we not only choreograph to put amazing pieces on stage, but we also have to create our productions. And with the production comes marketing, it comes selling tickets, and you have to brand the experience. And that's where it really got started for me. So at a young age, when I was in high school, when I was a student at Spelman College, I wasn't just dancing on stage, and I wasn't just choreographing stage. I was also a part of the team that was marketing the productions, getting the word out, and selling tickets to our shows. Because another thing that artists hate is performing to an audience of nobody. Okay, so we want to make sure that we have people in the audience, and I just took a liking to doing that. And that then introduced me into party promotion and being a promoter in college, on campus, and in Atlanta. I got tapped to join a promotion squad with some other students from Morehouse College and Spelman College. And they were like, hey, Jeter, you should join and be a promoter. And I was like, okay. So they broke it down to me, and they were like, I didn't have to pay to come to the event or pay to party, and I could, also bring my friends with me. I was like, okay, so you're telling me I could just promote this party, tell people to come, and then I can get in for free? Okay, I'm down. Like, and so
that's a no-brainer. Right.
Yeah. And so really that's how I got into it. It was just following my love and my passion for theater. And it really just opened up other opportunities for me. So I often talk about like following your joy. Following your joy reveals the best path for your life. And I still live by that path.
A lot of people will say that party promotions and that sort of thing, because you started out, doing that in college, but really when you get to like maybe doing talk shows and that sort of thing, they call that audience development, right? Just trying to build that audience, trying to get people or people in the seats, whether it's a conference, whether it's a TV show, a live TV show, you're doing audience development, or, if there's a fundraiser, audience development, trying to do all of that. So part of it is now you have a 501c3. So not only are you doing the promotions for that, but you also have to do a little bit of fundraising as well,
Right.
because just because it's nonprofit doesn't mean that it runs for free. It runs by money. So you have to do the events, you have to do the programming, you have to do the fundraising, obviously the branding. And then when you're doing the dancing on the stages, you're choreographing it, but really you're choreographing it as a story. You're choreographing a story in short little, 2-minute movements. And that has to be very, very hard to do. So now you're doing it with words, with events, through the nonprofit. So it's really, I guess you would say, in a way, you're doing promotions, but there's certain things that we can promote. We can promote anything. We can promote hamburgers, we can promote cars, but you choose to promote something that is meaningful to you. And what is that? What is the main thing that you're really interested in promoting or pushing the mission of?
Yeah, Pam, you are amazing. That I love how you summed that up. That was awesome. I would say I have a passion for amplifying the voices of those who are underrepresented and underserved.
Yeah.
And those tend to be voices of women and also voices of people of color. And those are the lanes that I have found great success in, but also just a great passion for and bringing value to those spaces.
Well, I want to say you've done a lot of events. How many events have you done?
I've done like 400 events.
Yeah. So I wanted people to hear that. Like, we're not just talking about a little bit. We're talking about a lot of events, right? That is really a lot of events. And each one of those are platforms or stages that you are amplifying voices. And whether it is of young women or women in general, African American women, you are really amplifying those voices. So give us, like, I know it's like having children, so you can't say, well, what's your favorite event? But give us some of the ones that you really enjoy, that you have seen like transformation happen.
Yes. Every time we produce a Women in Media Global Conference, I mean, that is certainly a labor of love. And that event, just to see it grow and scale and what we've been able to do, that platform has really allowed us to create a brand and reputation that precedes me. And it's not even like anything. Legacy. Yeah. Like when we were creating the mission behind Women in Media and what we wanted for it to do and the impact for it to create, I had no idea how much it would like cycle out into the world and how amplified that platform will get and how many lives it would touch. I just knew that something needed to be done, and I rolled my sleeves up and we made it happen. But that experience is awesome because one of the things that people often say about women in media is that we put the women at the forefront and we put the women, on the mic, and we amplify their voices and we give them an opportunity to shine. And it's a collective environment. It's a community. And just to see the women who have been able to utilize Women in Media as a resource and a tool for their career growth, I mean, it's amazing to see how the dots continue to connect. And it's just like, God, only you could orchestrate something like this because it's amazing when I see it. And just the stories that come out of what we've been able to do. So hands down, women in media all day.
Yeah, I love that. It's one of the things that it comes out of a genuine need that you saw, and just a love for the women in the media business. And that's just really, really, it reminds me of NABJ, I believe is going to be in Atlanta this year, their national conference.
Yes.
So that started 50 years ago. And one of the things is that it started as a need. The National Association of Black Journalists, they saw that all of the Black journalists, they were just a very, very small amount of them, and they were always getting the worst assignments. And they decided to band together and say, hey, we need to have more of us, first of all, in the industry, and we need to have us in management. And then it has grown, and it is like the go-to place for anyone who is in journalism to find a management job, or to be recruited into the career, or to be mentored, by the other people who are seniors. And so it did grow. I mean, I think it started with maybe 12 or so. Maybe I'm thinking the Bible, but anyway, I think it started with a small group of people, and it grew, and it's thousands and thousands. It's the same thing with women in media, what you're doing. And it is no easy feat to really pull together something. Like you said, it's a labor of love. Now, if you didn't love it, it would be like, you know what, I'm doing this once, I'm not doing it again. Right. But it's a leadership development tool for people who are in the group. It's a leadership development tool for those who are doing that. So now you have the Women in Media, that's the nonprofit, and then you have your PR firm, and you do the events. Yep. And you have different clients that you work with. One of the things about being an entrepreneur, you can pick the type of clients that you want to work with. So if you were working in a PR firm and they say, oh, we got Dunkin' Donuts, you got to work on Dunkin' Donuts. So, that's the client they brought in, and you work on Dunkin' Donuts. It doesn't matter how you feel about the donuts. It's just, you got to work on it because it's hard. But when you're an entrepreneur, you can pick the type of clients that you want to work with. I personally like working with speakers and authors. And I've always loved working with speakers and authors, and Speakers Magazine is an outreach of that. And then also doing the podcasting and doing events around speakers and authors, building their brand. So what are some of the favorite people? I know artists are part of them because you are one. So what other type of clients? I think I saw some political people in there as well.
Sure did, yes. So I have a very extensive background in political communications and government relations. Okay. It doesn't get a lot of spotlight or play today, but that space has been an absolute game changer for my career, especially when I was younger. In my 20s, it really allowed me to get exposed to a lot of high-powered decision makers. And one thing about politicians, they are very ambitious, and they love a young talent who also has great energy. And they saw that in me, and they were like, hey, we have opportunities for you. We see something special in you, like come work on our campaigns. And as a result of that, I was able to contribute to several winning campaigns in the city of Philadelphia to elected officials who are currently seated in office, serving as their director. Yeah, so that
we're not talking about little bitty cities. We're talking about major cities.
Major citywide campaigns are no joke. Yeah. And I absolutely loved every minute of it. And so both of these campaigns were citywide for City Commissioner Omar Sabir and seated council person Isaiah Thomas. I've also was on a couple of other campaigns with our district attorney, DA Seth, and so he is currently still in office as well. And I served as a advisor for our governor at the time, Tom Wolf, and that was for a commissioner position. I was on the African American Affairs Commission, advising the governor there as well. And just to think about the fact that I did all this in my 20s, I'm just like, it just blows my mind to just look at the things that I've been able to do in my career. And I'm grateful for that. So I love that work. I also like working, I do a lot of business professional work. So I might represent organizations and other companies. I love working with big consumer brands. I love working with wine and spirits companies as well. Consumer packaged goods is fun as well. I've had a lot of great success in fashion and wellness and beauty. And so those are just some of the industries
those
that
are
I've
big.
dabbled in. Yeah. Yeah.
So one of the things about PR when I'm working with different people, they have to be a little bit ready, so to speak. And so their brand needs to be promoted, but their brand has to be solid. And so I found that the Branding Accelerator program, which is a challenge I'm doing, it just really helps people get their brand where they need it to be before we can even start getting them television, radio, podcasts, magazines, newspapers, because they think that, oh, these people, just call them and put them on. It's like, well, you've got to have A, B, and C.
Yeah.
So I call them markers. What are some of the markers that that people need? And I call this therapy for PR girls, because it's like us girls talking about it. And most of our clients think they're more ready than they really are.
Right.
Like someone will say, I have a book, and it's like, but you don't have a website, or the book isn't on Amazon, or I want to get on such and such, Tamron Hall. That's always the thing, or Sherry Shepherd or J HUD. It's like, okay, but you haven't even been in your local newspaper yet. It's like, no one knows you. And the thing that I try to tell people is that those national shows aren't in business to make you famous. They want you to have a little bit more star power or fame or brand equity before you even get there. And so I try to explain that, what does brand equity mean, or what does your platform mean? I said, we could start with the basics. If you have a really slamming social media following, that can maybe equal the same of you maybe getting some kind of attention from traditional media. So what do you say? What are some of the markers that you try to tell your clients that we need to hit this first, second, and third before we hit Oprah? Okay.
Wow. Yeah. Everything you just mentioned was definitely spot on. I mean, I have a checklist as well to say, like, hey, these are the things that you need in order for your brand to be ready. And
how about good photos?
I was literally about to say content, like content. You have to have the content, from digital content to just basic things in your PR folder, such as professional headshots, not a selfie. Investing in professional headshots is something that I've over the years had to, like, it was like pulling teeth and trying to get people to understand that, like, I can't promote you while you're not playing the part. Your brand is not ready, and so having a professional bio as well. And then also having some sort of system and back office in your business. I think that is a
that is really important.
It's like, if we bring you attention and your infrastructure is not set up in a way to garner that attention, capture the impressions, capture the people who are now tuned into the products and services you have, it is a missed opportunity. And I've seen it time and time again, where people's back offices are not set up. And then there's also times where you have such busy CEOs or founders or executives, and it's like, your life is so all over the place that you don't even have space to actually work in tangent with a strategic partner to help you move things forward, because it takes time and you have to work on your brand. And so sometimes those things make it very, very difficult for founders who are just literally all over the place. And it's just
that
is
so true. That part right there, Danielle, when you said they want to hire a publicist, a strategic partner, get me as much media as you can. Okay, we're ready. And then we send them email, and we've got things for them to be booked and to show up, and they don't show up. They can't. They're missing appointments with a particular outlet, or they're late. I mean, so at this point, it's on our reputation, because it's like, well, you brought these people here. They weren't even ready, or they weren't on time, or they missed it, or and we can't have that, because it's not just their reputation. Now it's our reputation, because now if we have other clients that we like to book on an NBC, ABC, or CBS affiliate, and it's like, you know what, we try to book one of your clients and they didn't show up. So it's like, no. So that part, when you say you have to carve out space for the interview, for the print interview, for the TV interview, for the podcast. And listen, this is the other thing that I just ran about. They cannot put their nose up to any media outlet. So it's like, well, how big is a podcast? Where is it? One. That's like, because listen, you never know where that podcast person may end up. They may start out with the podcast, but next thing you know, look at Issa Rae. Issa Rae started out on YouTube, right?
But the thing is, like, the thing
that's
also
big.
Exactly. And the thing is, if there is anybody who is willing to invest their time and resources in telling your story, especially if you are not paying this individual, why not take the opportunity? You know, and I also really advise for people to understand that when they are in the market to hire a publicist and a PR person, we are a strategic partner. We are not your assistant. We are not your virtual assistant.
We are not your travel agent.
We are talking executive to executive, CEO to CEO, and you have to come ready with that energy, because we work extremely fast. We are deadline driven. We are result oriented. We are impact focused. And so when it's time to pull, you know, the green light, and it's time to roll out if it's time to launch, you have to be ready to go to launch. And if you're not ready to go to launch, then you're not ready for a publicist. You actually need to work with somebody to build your brand and your marketing. And that is separate and different a lot of times. And so there's certain things and misconceptions in the industry that really makes it a little challenging to work with certain individuals or certain size companies and things of that sort. And it's, you know, we live in a day and age where there's no excuses out here for any of us, because research is still, it's so much easier now to research with all of the technology and ChatGPT tools and Google. And so let's do our due diligence. Let's act like business professionals and get things done and get things handled.
It's so many markers that I tell people that they need, you know, besides the photos and things like that. But what I find that people who they have a book, okay, fine, and then they want to speak. And then they want to speak at all these different, like, great platforms and things like that. And they want to get paid thousands and thousands of dollars. But I promise you, and I say, well, let me send them a sample of you speaking. They don't have one.
They don't have a speaker reel.
They don't have a speaker reel. So, or a speaker sheet. How about that?
Or YouTube channel that's on.
And I'm like, how are you thinking we're going to pull this rabbit out of the hat? And then you don't have any tools that we can go and have ammunition for? Because basically when we're pitching against not just, you know, just pitching you, the journalists and the producers, they have editors, they have hundreds and hundreds of people they can choose from. And they're going to choose the best of the best. And so it's not about whether we know them and they're our friend, but they want to put the best on their air or put them in their magazine or whatever. And if you don't have the tools, you're going to get no. And not only will you get a no, but you probably get like, no, never again. Like they weren't even ready. Let's put them in file 13. If I ever see the email from them again, they're going to get blocked. And so I always tell people, I said, it's not like we're trying to hold you back. It's not like we're trying to crush your dreams. But we do know that certain things that media look for, if you don't have it, they will then put you in another category and you will never get on there again. So that's why I would say start small, start with your local media, start with maybe your affinity media. If you went to, let's just say you had a book. So Danielle, maybe you had a book. And I said, okay, well, Danielle, we're going to get you, you went to Spelman. So we're going to make sure you get in the Spelman alumni magazine. It's like, well, but that's like influential. It's a lot of people that read that magazine. They'll do a good story. You read the magazine?
I was in the magazine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like 10 years ago. I was like, I was
It
like
doesn't matter.
26. I was in that
You got the
magazine. Yes.
ink. You got the ink. And that is,
Yep.
and then it's online too as well. So when people Google you,
Yep.
they'll see you. And that's what they call a high domain authority site. It's
Yep.
not just like any old kind of blog. It's like the alumni of a very established university. So those are the kind of things that strategically we're just saying to people, this is where you start. These are your affinity groups. These are the low-hanging fruits of things. And I really several people say, well, who do you know? I said, well, I went to school with Roland Martin's sister. I said, okay, well, let's call her sister and see if we can get on Roland Martin. Whatever it is, it's like we got to help you understand the media ecosystem so that you can realize that these are the ones that you're going to work with first. Once you're ready, you're going to work with this first, and then it snowballs. Well, you probably don't know about snowball. You're in Miami. Yeah. Then it goes to bigger things, and I'm telling you, it doesn't happen. It's almost like, because you were in the entertainment world and theater and arts and things like that. It's almost like it doesn't matter if it's a singer or whatever, if they're a good thing. They have to start somewhere. They're not going to just start in American ballet like as soon as they get out of school. You can work up to different places. And it's the same thing with media. You got to work on different things and move up and move up. And
yeah, you're right. It takes time to build a brand. It's not 0 to 100. And it's the consistency and the dedication and being able to also round out your voice, round out your influence, and continue to consistently put yourself out there. And if you do decide to work with a strategic partner, such as a publicist, trust the process and trust and know that, like, we strategize, we plan, all of that is definitely a part of the role that we have. And it takes time to do the outreach and everything like that, and building your brand. But it's very possible. All of these things are possibilities if you just are willing to go the road, to take the steps and to do the right thing. And so it's never an overnight thing. Definitely not 0 to 100.
But there are some shortcuts, so to speak, that the pay to play is still a thing now. There were advertorials and things like that back in the day where you buy a full page ad in a newspaper and they have to put advertorial on it. But now things are so blurred now. So everything is blurred. You could pay for anything. I mean, people were like, well, I was in Inc., I was in Forbes, and I don't want to say this in a negative way, but Forbes will kind of put their name on anything if they got a price tag. Okay. It's like you could write for Forbes if you have the right money, it's just, and so it's like, oh, it's Forbes. It's like, but is it really Forbes, or was it paid for Forbes? It's like, it's a difference. And it's got like this recently because of social media that a lot of things are pay to play.
And competing. Yeah.
Yeah. People can pay to get on podcasts. People pay to get in magazines. And that's a good way to start. But I won't say that eventually you want to earn the media. There's a way to own the media. Like we own this podcast. This is, you own your show and things like that. But earning the media takes time. But you can buy and pay to play, meaning like you can buy a column in a particular publication. Yeah. You can write for a publication. I think it was a magazine called Brains or something like that. You could write for them and they charge you money. I was like, wow, being a journalism major in school, I was like, so this is how it's going now. But it's where you start and you don't stay there. You do definitely want to go on and do other type of earned media, But there are some TV shows, Danielle, like you can actually pay to be on those shows, the morning shows. I think they're called like Morning Coffee and things like that, where they will, and I just saw this maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, and I was in a hotel room and I was watching this show, and I was like, this must be paid because the guest was so bad. I was like, they were so bad. I was like, and I'm looking at it. They were just bad. And I was like, they must be paying. And so I stayed to the credits and I saw the end, and then I called the station. I said, do you all have paid programming? They said, yeah, we do. We call it sponsored posts or sponsored programming. I said, oh, okay. Not an infomercial. It was looked like a real news set. And I was like, oh, okay. And then from there, I was like, well, if they were just a little bit better prepared, you probably wouldn't have told that paid, but because they were so stiff and that kind of thing. But yeah, that's a change now. What is the things, the trends you're seeing for 2026 now that's going forward besides the AI?
Well, people leaving TikTok. I saw people they leaving TikTok.
Wow, where they going? They're going to Substack.
There's something going on. People leaving TikTok. Got to look
Are
into
they going to Substack?
There are a lot of Substacks that are coming out for sure. Yeah, there are definitely a lot of Substacks coming out. And people are actually promoting also on Pinterest. So I see people promoting their podcasts and their digital products on Pinterest. Yep.
Huh. I have a Pinterest account. It's probably really old, but I don't really promote there.
Yep.
Okay, so that's a new thing.
Yep, products and services there, and it has something to do with SEO as well.
Yes, they do have a good follow or do follow. Do follow. Yep. That is
so.
Good.
I definitely saw those two things. Yep.
Yeah. And just in terms of AI, I mean, it's getting out of control. I'm seeing people with their AI twins. They are just like losing their mind, especially.
Definitely AI for sure.
They are losing their mind. I'm like, these pictures, it's like, lady, now you don't look like that. It's like, really? It's
they dreaming.
They may be 70 years old and their picture looks like they are 30. Okay. It's like, you know what? You need to stop.
AI is everywhere. Perplexity, I heard, is a very popular tool that people are using.
Yes.
Claude is getting more possible now as well because it has more security than ChatGPT, where Chat has really have a lot of substantial security, and so your data is being shared, but Claude is a little more safe. Yeah.
It's really funny too, because a lot of people feel like, well, I don't need to have a publicist because I have these tools, but really you need to know what's good and what's bad. So I can write a pitch by hand, or I could write a press release by hand without any tools. But I can also put it in ChatGPT, and I know when it's good. But if you've never written one before and you put it in ChatGPT,
you don't even know what to say. Listen, these people who wanna go back and forth and say that they can use AI to do your PR, I said go for it, because you're not even.
They don't even know what's good. No. They don't even know what's good. I was like, oh, okay, all right, that's the thing. So listen, we're gonna end on this. So you've been dancing your whole life, and have you ever thought about opening a dance school one day?
I have thought about that. I've thought about opening up a school. I've thought about opening up a studio and a school focused on STEAM, like a whole school: science, tech, engineering, arts, math.
Okay, a whole school.
And definitely a studio as well, some sort of open space studio, even a podcast studio. I've thought about all of those things. Yes. And I'm even thinking about getting certified in Pilates, because Pilates is so popular.
That is popular and very expensive, I must say. I had no idea.
When I went to Pilates class, I was like, oh, this is what they're calling Pilates. In dance, we call it warm up. This is our strength conditioning. Yeah, this is they put a formal industry name to it, but it's really how dancers warm their bodies up to dance.
And we've been doing I can see you doing that one day, combining that into, because at a certain point you have to promote it, and you have to put out content and have things that, who does a really good job with the promotion. I know she probably doesn't do it herself, but Debbie Allen's School of Dance, when their content is really, really good. I even watch it, and I really love it. And I think it's a visual medium, so you can watch it. It is entertaining. So video is definitely a thing, but they're just very clever with it. So your marketing background and all the things that you've done, you could do a studio and then put all those things together. Yeah. So that would be good. And then, like you said, people are leaving TikTok, but I'm telling you, I was involved in TikTok in 2020, and I was doing all the challenges, the Savage Challenge and all whatever kind of challenge they were doing. I was doing the dancing, but the people who blew up on TikTok were the dancers. They were the real dancers. Yeah, I think it's Miss Kizo, I believe it is. I think it's something like that. But her and her husband, they are dancers, and they have millions of followers. And then there's one lady that ended up on Steve Harvey's, Marie Bustamove. I don't know if she's a professional dancer, but she just likes to dance, and she got millions of views, and she ended up on television. And I think Ellen started that. Ellen DeGeneres. She would take a lot of people off the line and then put them on and they would dance and that kind of thing. But yeah, so like you
I
said,
will always say, like, if you follow me on Instagram, like the content of me dancing, that content performs the best. Now, I'm not always dancing on Instagram because that's not the way that I necessarily want to promote my business all the time.
Right.
But when I do have an announcement or some sort of promotion going on, I dance in those promos, and
there you go.
Sells.
You do not waste any talent. Okay. If I had that talent, I would be doing it. Now I dance and I'm not a dancer, like a trained dancer, but I do like to dance. And those do make the most things. It's like, that's just because I like music. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love it. But yeah, all of our skills and talents are not wasted. No matter what we were doing, they're a part of as we grow as an entrepreneur. And that's the beauty of entrepreneurship, the beauty of women in media. It forms different things as we mature and go further, and as technology advances, we're going to have different things. I'm talking to you now, it's a little bit longer, but that's okay. When is the next Women in Media conference, and then where can they find out more information about it?
Sure. So we actually have Women in Media coffee mixers coming up, and that series is going to be kicking off in Miami, Florida. And we're looking forward to taking it to other places. We have a very big foundation in Philadelphia, and also Atlanta is another key market for us as well. So we're wanting to try something different and do our coffee mixer. So we're definitely looking for partners, also sponsors.
Detroit. Yeah, we can do Detroit.
In Detroit, bring me to Detroit.
I would love to have you and do that for you in Detroit, in Motown. That is for sure. Yeah.
So that's what
and then we could even probably tour maybe the new Motown museum as well.
Now look at that. That's a really great idea.
Mm-hmm.
So we're certainly looking forward to that. We're also going to be having our event again during the American Black Film Festival here in Miami, which is always in July. So we do a Women in Media mixer and a live podcast recording for that. And that was absolutely fabulous last summer. So we're looking forward to that event too. And we often do live podcast sets where we allow people, like an in-studio audience, to come in and watch us record the seasons of our show. So that will be coming up too very soon as well. So right now, a lot of our activity is happening in Miami, Florida, but we are open to collaborative partners to be able to do things in various markets as well. So our website is womeninmediaglobal.org. And our Instagram is WIM, W-I-M Global. And my personal Instagram is DP Jeter, just like my initials right here on the screen. So if you put any of those things in on Google or on social, you should be able to find me.
Okay, so that's DP Jeter.
Yep.
And .com or
Instagram.
Okay, that's on Instagram. That's IG. Okay, because we want to see you, go over there and see you dancing. So yeah, so that will be where we will see you there. Did I put that here? Yep, put that across the bottom. IG at DP Jeter there. All right,
that's
cool. Yeah. All right, so that way we can find all the things there. Well, thank you so much. This has been really good. I love talking to you. This has been, like, for me, like therapy, like just talking to another PR colleague about all the things that we do. And it's so creative and it's always changing and it's always fun. So I've been in it for 30 plus years and it's changed, but I'll still be in it for a while. I love it because it's always different. So keep at it. And when you get the studio going or whatever, just reach out. And, if you want to do something here in Michigan with the Women in Media, definitely for sure. We can get together for that. Okay.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pam. This was a joy to join you. Thank you for having me on your podcast. You are an absolute joy to know. I'm so glad we're connected, and I look forward to staying in touch.
Yeah. Yes, we'll do. All right. God bless you. Thank you all for watching. Get out there, get known. Take care. God bless.
You've been listening to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast, brought to you by PamPerryPR.com, where you'll get insider tips on how to build your platform, pitch the media, and promote yourself with confidence. Head over to PamPerryPR.com and get the exclusive video training on the 7 must-have marketing materials you need before you pitch in order to be considered in media places or superstar stages. PamPerryPR.com, where you help you shine like a superstar.